The second part of this prescription, so in order to live our lives in such a way where there is peace in the chaos, the second is, I advise every single person to have a regimen every day, even if it's for a few minutes, of adhkar. What are adhkar? Different types of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the first one I mentioned was salah. That's essential. That's essential. But in addition to that, there's certain prayers, dua, certain supplications that the Prophet ﷺ taught us. And these supplications, when you say them throughout your day, they actually transform your life. They transform your life. And I have challenged audiences all over the world to do this, and it actually changed people's lives. Is when they started to make this a regimented thing. Just like you get up, you eat, you eat your meals, you take your vitamins, you do your exercise. There is also a spiritual regimen that we need. And when you follow it, it changes your life. And so that regimen is that there's certain supplications that we're told to say in the morning, that we're told to say in the evening, and before we sleep. Those 3 times are some of the most essential. There's of course other ones, small ones after prayer, right? You learn them. There's supplications when, the amazing thing is that the Prophet ﷺ lived his life where throughout his life he was remembering God, right? So there's a supplication for everything. There's a supplication for driving, a supplication for leaving your home, a supplication for entering the home. There's even a supplication for entering the bathroom, a supplication before intimacy. There is a way to remember God according to the sunnah for everything in life. That actually is very powerful because that is what transforms the mundane into the spiritual. That's how we find spirituality within the mundane. Right? Because you're still driving to work, right? You're still getting married. You're still, using the restroom. You're still intimate with your spouse. You're still eating. But while you're doing these things, you're remembering Allah. Do you understand? So my advice practically is that to get an app on your phone, because you know what? The phone is like a part of our appendage, right? It's like an organ. And so we always have our phone. You're like, what? And so put the app on your phone called My Dua. This is the one I use. There's lots of them, but this is like best 99 cents you'll ever invest. My Dua, MYDUAA. How many people have heard of Fortress of a Muslim? Many of you. This is just the app form of that, the app version of Fortress of a Muslim. What this app is a collection of verses and supplications to say in any aspect of life. So it's like a collection you can click on. Okay, I'm traveling, here's a supplication. I'm feeling anxious today, here's a supplication. I'm wanting more provision, here's a supplication. You understand? So now that you have this app, which you're gonna download inshallah, and you're gonna invest for the rest of your life, inshallah, just by downloading this and then using it. Once you get that app on your phone, what I advise is make sure that in the morning, you're doing your morning supplications. In the evening, you're doing your evening supplications, and you're saying some supplications before you sleep. Okay? One other point I'm gonna tell you is that in the app, when you go to morning supplications, so it's morning/evening remembrance, that's what's called, okay? When you go there, you're gonna find there's a list of like 25, okay? So what happens is human nature, we might do all of them like one day and then never do it again because it took us an hour, right? So one principle I wanna tell you, very important, is that it's not all or none.